So, fangen wir erstmal mit sich selbst an.
Tell me about yourself.
Yes? What would you like to hear?
Ich denke, das ist eine ganz gute Frage, wie sie zu dem Beruf gekommen ist.
How'd you get into this business?
I trained in the voodoo arts for many years with the great Queen Tabitha.
Really? Who's she?
You have never heard of her? For shame! I can see you know little of the world of magic.
I'm beginning to get that impression, yes. What kind of people come to see you?
Seekers after the truth, such as yourself.
Das ist eine gute Antwort, die relativ nichtssagend ist. Die nächste Frage.
Do you do anything else?
I am a voodoo yen. That is plenty. It takes much spiritual effort.
How many voodoo yens are there?
No one knows exactly. Many practice in secret. There are probably hundreds. But of course the level and the power of the voodoo yens differ greatly, depending on their training and natural gifts.
Okay, jetzt kommen wir zu den Irgendwas erzählen.
Tell me anything at all.
I haven't always lived in New Orleans. I came here from Kansas as a young woman.
Tell me anything at all.
I began studying voodoo more than 20 years ago. I am well versed in the magic law.
Tell me anything at all.
Many non-believers come to me. They are usually believers when they leave.
Tell me anything at all.
Dr. John sends me many seekers such as yourself.
Tell me anything at all.
I am happy here with my clientele and my snake.
Tell me anything at all.
I haven't always lived in New Orleans. I
Okay,
came here.
das sind wir jetzt durch, wie es aussieht.
I can't think of anything.
Very well.
Gut, wo fangen wir denn jetzt an? Machen wir mal erst was Unverbindliches über New Orleans.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
New Orleans is the center of voodoo practice in the United States.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
It is a fascinating city with many dark secrets.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
It is my favorite place in the world.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
It is my favorite place in the
Okay,
world.
das war's wohl. Na, dann fangen wir mal an mit Voodoo.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
My practice is mainly selling charms and potions with magic power, such as gree-gree and voodoo oils. You know, everything from unrequited love to wandering spouses to winning a lawsuit. But my spells and charms are powerful, and they work.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Much of a voodoo yen's work is protecting her clients from the spell of others. I make special protective gree-gree to be worn in secret. They keep evil spells from working against my clients.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
The recipes for voodoo charms have been handed down from master to apprentice for centuries.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
I have told you all it is proper for you to know, Monsieur Knight.
Okay, dann fragen wir mal über das neue Thema, das aufgegangen ist, Gree-Gree.
Give me an example of a gree-gree.
All right, here's an old one. Take a lodestone and some brimstone to a crossroads at midnight. Light the brimstone with a match, and a spirit will come and give you advice in gambling.
Ja, okay. Also suchen wir uns mal eine Kreuzung, wenn wir mal nicht weiterkommen.
Give me an example of a gree-gree.
Here's an old hoodoo Dr. Gree-Gree. Place a dime under your client's tongue, and if the client is under a spell of any kind, the dime will turn black.
Give me an example of a gris-gris.
To send someone away, take a rotten egg and write that person's name on it 9 times. You can also write on it where you want to send that person to. Take it and throw it against his door at midnight.
Give me an example of a gris-gris.
Here's a nasty one. To kill someone, get a sock or a shoe that belongs to that person. Put graveyard dirt in it and bury it under their front steps.
Does that work?
I don't know. I never tried it.
Irgendwie bezweifle ich, dass das funktionieren würde.
Give me an example of a gris-gris.
To ensure the safety of your child, cut a lock of its hair while it is still a baby and keep it with you. The child must have all its hair before it can die.
These are interesting.
They're very old. The gris-gris that I prepare is much more powerful, I can assure you, but I don't give out those secrets.
Give me an example of a gris-gris.
All right. Here.
Ja, okay, das hatten wir schon. New Orleans hatten wir, das hatten wir. Fangen wir mal mit Schlangen an.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? You mean like my beloved Grimwald? She's a python, you know. Quite deadly in the wrong hands. I was trained by one of the great voodoo queens to learn how to hypnotize and handle snakes.
Tell me more about snakes.
Oh, I wouldn't want to give away my trade secrets.
Ja, kann ich verstehen. Jetzt fahren wir noch über Grimwald.
About Grimwald.
What about her?
Wo haben sie bekommen?
Where'd you get Grimwald?
She belonged to a traveling reptile show. She was being terribly mistreated, so I offered to buy her. She's named after a spirit guide I had once. The spirit Grimwald was a very powerful female snake priestess in Egyptian times.
Grimwald doesn't sound Egyptian.
I only know what the spirits tell me. Monsieur, I am sure they know better than we.
Das ist auch, denke ich, interessant.
How'd you learn to handle Grimwald?
I told you a great voodoo queen taught me. She learned from Marie Laveau herself.
Oh, fascinating. Would you consider giving me one of Grimwald's scales?
No, I couldn't do that. You might do some gris-gris of your own, no? One must be very careful with such things. Hair clippings, nail parings, and snake scales.
Schade. Machen wir erst noch das. Bei dem weiß ich schon, was passieren wird. Deswegen lasse ich das erstmal.
Tell me anything at all.
You have to be careful when handling a snake. They're more delicate than they look.
I'll bet.
Ich finde, Schlangen sehen schon gefährlich genug aus.
Tell me anything at all.
Many people are afraid of snakes. Isn't that silly?
Totally. Tell me anything at all.
Snakes shed their skins from time to time. You have to be especially careful of them when they're shedding.
I'll keep it in mind. Tell me anything at all.
Grimwald is very responsive to vibration. She doesn't recognize her name, but if I stomp 3 times, she looks right at me.
Tell me anything at all.
You have to be careful when handling a snake. They're more delicate than
Okay,
they look.
das war's wohl.
I'll bet.
Dann fangen wir an mit, ob sie mir zeigen kann, was sie mit Grimwald macht.
How about showing me how you handle Grimwald?
Really? You would like to see me dance, perhaps?
That would be swell.
I won't make you wait, Monsieur Knight.
Und deswegen habe ich es jetzt als letztes genommen.
No matter what you see, do not Don't be frightened.
I'll give it my best shot.
So, jetzt wo sie beschäftigt ist, krall ich mir mal die Schlangenhaut.
Gabriel grabs the shed snake skin while Magenta is otherwise occupied.
There. Truly inspiring, isn't it?
That's certainly one word for it.
Auf jeden Fall eine ziemlich praktische. Jetzt fragen wir uns noch über den Rest aus.
Could I ask you a few more questions?
Certainly.
So, was hat man schon? Das hat man. Fragen wir mal über die Johannisnacht.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
St. John's Eve. It is the greatest night of the voodoo year. There is always a traditional conclave on St. John's Eve. Most of our voodoo churches these days hold functions in the church hall. But in the old days, they had ceremonies out in the wild, and they wore animal masks and had a huge bonfire and dancing. I used to go when I was an apprentice. Sometimes in the swamp, you know, Bayou St. John. Sometimes at the Lake Pontchartrain.
Okay, das gab schon ein bisschen mehr zu erfahren als bei allen anderen. Fragen wir nochmal aus? Vielleicht hat sie ja noch was.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
Special ceremonies are performed, and the lower come to ride the faithful.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
There is no night more powerful to voodoo magic.
Ich glaube, das war's. Aber probieren wir nochmal.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
There is no...
Ja, es gibt nichts anderes mehr. Jetzt haben wir noch die Tiermasken als neues Gesprächsmittel.
Tell me about the animal masks.
I saw them used once or twice when I was younger, but you don't see them much anymore. They are too close.
Too close to what?
Just bad karma.
Okay.
Tell me about the animal masks.
I don't know what else to say about that.
Ja, okay. Das war's mit den Tiermasken. Vielleicht weiß auch über diesen Satz jetzt noch was näher Bescheid.
Do you have any idea what Caprice Girl means?
No. No, I don't.
Hört es sich an, wie wenn sie einfach nichts darüber sagen wollte. Ja, aber über die Marie hat sie bestimmt einiges zu sagen.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Oh, yes. She was the first of the great voodoo queens.
Das wussten wir allerdings schon.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
She ruled voodoo in New Orleans for 100 years, they say.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
I'm sure a historian could help you with that, if you want to know more.
Okay, das war's schon mit dem. Hier drüber wird sie wahrscheinlich auch nichts wissen, aber ich frage trotzdem mal.
Have you ever heard the word Schlangentanz?
I don't know anything about that.
Okay, das dachte ich mir. So, jetzt haben wir nur noch eine Sache, und zwar die Voodoo-Morde. Aber die fragen wir es jetzt auch mal aus.
What do you know about the Voodoo-Murders?
Why, that has nothing to do with me and my clientele. But I can tell you that you should stay as far from it as possible. There is badness there. Very bad.
Bei Morden, ehrlich gesagt, ist es normalerweise immer so.
So you don't think the voodoo aspects of the case are fake?
Fake? Let me tell you about fake. If I get information through the grapevine and make use of it, is that fake? No. That is part of a voodoo yen's power. If people don't believe, there is not much I can do. But if they do believe, that is a part of my power too. But there are things, monsieur, things not even a little bit fake, I can tell you. Believe it or not, but stay away from it.
What do you mean? Do you know something about the case?
I work hard on fine-tuning my spiritual antenna, Monsieur Knight, and I get a clear signal from that direction. Beware.
What do you mean? Do you know something about the case?
I work hard on fine-tuning my
Okay, das war das. Mehr kannst du auch nicht darüber sagen. Vorsichtig sein, das wäre auf jeden Fall keine schlechte Idee. Okay, beenden wir mal das Gespräch. Und damit auch diese Folge. In der nächsten zeigen wir ja dann noch das Bild von dem Mord und diese Zeichnung. Vielleicht kann sie damit was anfangen. Mit allem, was sie jetzt so gesagt hat, hat sie uns auf jeden Fall schon ziemlich gut weitergeholfen. Okay, bis das nächste Mal. Man sieht sich. Ciao.